You are in a room full of people. Conversation is happening everywhere. But something feels off, not because you dislike anyone there, but because despite all the noise, you feel completely alone. Most people assume this feeling means something is wrong with them. Science suggests something different entirely. 1. Your mind operates at a different depth. Most conversations stay on the surface. What happened today? What someone watched? What they plan to do this weekend? For certain minds, this level of exchange feels incomplete, not because they are difficult, but because their mind naturally processes life at a deeper level. They are not looking for small talk. They are looking for someone who thinks the way they do. And people who think in the same way are relatively rare. 2. You express yourself differently than most. Some people think in feelings. Others think in logic, patterns, and systems. When a mind that thinks in depth tries to communicate with someone who processes things simply, something gets lost. Not because either person is wrong, but because the translation between two different thinking styles is never perfect. The words are right, but the person receiving them is operating on a different frequency. 3. You notice things others simply do not see. Analytical minds pick up on details most people miss. The tension beneath a calm surface, the meaning behind a carefully chosen word, the pattern that connects seemingly unrelated events. When you try to point these things out, people often do not follow, not because they are not intelligent, but because they are not wired to see what you see. And when the things you notice go unacknowledged, the feeling of being unseen grows deeper. 4. Your emotional world is more complex. Feeling misunderstood is not always about conversation. Sometimes it is about emotion. Certain minds feel things with unusual intensity. Joy that goes beyond excitement, sadness that carries more weight than the situation seems to require, a sense of meaning in moments others find ordinary. When those emotions are hard to explain, and even harder for others to relate to, the distance between you and the people around you widens, not because no one cares, but because the emotional language you speak is not widely understood. 5. You have spent most of your life editing yourself. Over time, many people with complex minds learn to hide parts of themselves. They simplify their thoughts to avoid confusion. They hold back emotions to avoid seeming too intense. They laugh along with conversations that feel empty, because explaining why feels like too much effort. And after years of this, they forget what it feels like to be fully seen, because they have spent so long making sure they are not fully shown. The core reality. Feeling like nobody understands you is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is often a sign that you experience the world with more depth than most people around you are equipped to meet. The problem is not that you are too much. The problem is that genuine understanding is simply rare, and rare things take longer to find. If you have spent your life feeling like the people around you only ever understand part of who you are, stay here. Because on this channel, we don't just observe behavior. We explain the psychology behind it.